Hey, welcome to Super Social Club. I'm Jeremy. Today I have the 2013 Laphroaig Cairdeas Portwort Edition. This one's bottled at 51.3% ABV, and this is a hard bottle to acquire. So much so that I resorted to trying to make my own poor man's version of this. I'll get to that after I nose this, taste it, and give it a mark. Alright, this 2013 Cairdeas is probably one of the more sought after ones. I had to find it on the secondary market. I paid $185 US for it. Let's see how it is on the nose. So the first thing I get is like stewed fruits, like plums, cranberries. You get a really nice like oakiness to this one. The peat in it, it's not like as heavy as other Laphroaigs are. Definitely a lot lighter than like the Laphroaig 10-year-old, for example. You get a little bit of that saltiness, that brininess, that iodine kind of like note. So those Laphroaig notes are in here. Just that peat, a little more subdued. But really, really nice on the nose. I really like port matured whiskey or port finished whiskey. All right, let's go palate. Very bold and rich. Again, those stewed fruits really come forward. Raspberries for sure. A note that I really kind of always get with like port matured, port finished whiskey is raspberries, and I love it. Really strong, vibrant, bold kind of raspberry note. You get the peat still. You get that like saltiness, that brininess. A little like charcoal. Kind of like the peat, the smoke, the charcoal all kind of like mesh well together. It's really, really nice. Finish, nice and long. The peat, the cranberry, the raspberry, and that like salty mineral note all linger on the finish and last like pretty long. Very, very nice whiskey. Definitely my favorite from the Cairdeas releases. You know why this one demands a high price in the secondary market. Recently, I've seen these go for upwards of like $225 US. So prices are going up and availability is going down. I haven't really seen them come up so much anymore. So I'm glad I was able to acquire this one. Score for me on this, I'm going to give it a big mark. Let's go 89 out of 100. Value-wise, I don't quite think it's worth the full secondary price. $185 US is a lot. I'm going to take off a point and make it a nice 88 out of 100. Still what I'd recommend buying the whiskey. If you're a fan of Laphroaig, you're going to love this one. If you're a fan of the Cairdeas line, this is my favorite for sure. Before I said that I couldn't find this bottle. It was hard to find. So I kind of resulted to making my own poor man's version. And if you've seen my last video, I kind of went through the process of like seasoning a cask and finishing my own whiskey. I did one for Laphroaig 10-year-old. And here it is. Pretty similar to this whiskey, actually. The process I used for this, took a 1 liter cask, seasoned it with port wine, let that sit, dumped it out, put in the Laphroaig 10-year-old, let that sit for a few days, and then bottled it. If you want to see the entire process, I'll link to the video at the end. I have a whole video detailing the exact process to make this whiskey. But just really quick on the nose, it shares that like similar kind of like stewed fruit, that like cranberry, raspberry kind of note. It's a lot more kind of muted in the peat too. The peat was like a little bit less than this one, was a little bit less than like a 10-year-old. This is even less than that again. But yeah, that like nice stewed fruit note. You still get like that saltiness, that brininess. Just not as complex. Just a little more basic, I guess, on the nose. On the palate. That's pretty good. It is pretty good. I was actually pretty proud of how this one turned out. I like it. It shares some similarities, just obviously not as complex. Finishes as long. the brininess, the saltiness, more balanced, I think, in this. But good substitute for like a do-it DIY kind of Scotch. I think so. I like it. Let me know what you guys think. Have you had the Laphroaig Portwood Cairdeas? Let me know what your favorite Cairdeas is that you've tried so far. Appreciate it as always, guys. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, and always have a good one. Cheers.